Welcome everyone to episode 10 of Raw Sport. My name is Ahmed El Houli, and as we do every single week with my co-host Mr. Tony Sheehan, we break down some of the latest updates from the world of sports with raw opinions, raw and unfiltered opinions. Tony, how are you, buddy? How's things?
Ahmed, good to be back with you. 2 sleeps until the AFL finals kick off. Cannot wait, and we cannot wait for the raw opinions on Raw Sports.
And boy, do we have an episode about the AFL finals. Massive announcement this week. KISS announced as AFL Entertainment. Pre-game entertainment, KISS. What are your thoughts? Are we still in the 1970s or have we moved to 2023?
It's a really good question. Look, you know what? We can't take away from the fact that KISS is an iconic band. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, they have led this band through decades. They have produced fantastic albums. They are icons. But you're right, Ahmed. What on earth is the AFL doing sending an SOS out to KISS, who was, I think, second or third in line after Crowded House? Now, I think you and I spoke about this on one of our previous Raw Sports episodes. One, why KISS? No one can answer that. They've been criticised heavily online. And two, after Robbie Williams' success last year, why isn't the AFL dipping into their expansive pockets and going for somebody more progressive?
I actually cannot understand why these bands are brought in. The same bands are brought in year after year. You have the world to choose from. You have healthy budgets. You have deep pockets. You have resources that would more than happily come here. And we keep having the same thing year after year. Why not vary things up? Why not have a couple of different performers or entertainers to attract different crowds, young, old, middle age? Like, why do we do the same thing every single year? It's almost like we're on repeat. Boom, boom. It's the most obvious case of laziness, in my opinion. It's just convenience. KISS, jump on. Why is it the same thing every single year?
Yeah, it's a really good point. And look, I wouldn't necessarily label the AFL lazy, but in this instance, they have been
complacent.
And it's near enough is good enough. Crowded House pulls out. They couldn't get Kylie Minogue. I think it was a poor decision by Kylie Minogue to not make herself available. She's gone to Vegas. She's doing shows there, which is huge for the girl from Camberwell, and it'll make her tens of millions of dollars and a star in America, which if she's not already is. But why isn't the AFL doing something similar to the Super Bowl? You know, why aren't we going after a Snoop Dogg or somebody a lot more progressive that the fans of today and tomorrow are going to be engaged, whether they like the game or not? It's about bums on seats and eyeballs. Get somebody, go out and pay them, 3 to 5 million, put them on a private jet and get them out here.
The AFL Grand Final should make international headlines like the NFL does. We should be this sport that nobody else in the world plays, that when the halftime show happens, it's in the headlines on Twitter, on all social networks, being shared rapidly by everyone because of how entertaining and exotic and out of the box it was. Right now, it's not. It's the same rubbish over and over again. Sorry, not rubbish. That is a bit harsh. It's the same sort of narrative year after year. They have to pay the performers. In the NFL the Super Bowl halftime show, the performers don't get paid. It's recognition. It's the PR and the media that they're going to get after it for the next, I don't know how many weeks. People sharing their content.
I think the NFL YouTube channel has had something like, guessing at 350 million views for the halftime entertainment.
There you go. So this is what we're talking about. Why are we not moving with the times? Why are we not being progressive and thinking outside the box? The biggest league in Australia should be looking to represent Australia on the world stage every single year when that grand final happens. I think we're so limited to our Docklands headquarters that we forget that we represent a sport that holds the Australian flag on an international level.
I totally agree. Now, obviously, we are privy to some exclusive information, and we have friends at the Hour Group based in Melbourne, Victoria, and it is suggested that they are talking to LA-based hip-hop star Chris Brown about coming out. Now, we know he has had some issues in the past, which isn't great, but this guy is such an amazing performer. If the AFL got out of their woke little bubble and had somebody of Chris Brown's ilk, go and pay him $5 million, bring him out for the grand final and one other show, he can make, somewhere in the vicinity of $10 million, and the AFL then becomes the most progressive sport, at least, in the Southern Hemisphere, and then the Northern Hemisphere can take I'm trying to think of the way, at least they can take notice of what the Australians are doing and how progressive we could actually be.
Well, it should be like this, in my opinion. It should be that halftime show, the AFL. The aim from that is to make sure the whole world finds out about the AFL Grand Final. And next year, they will look out for that halftime show like they do with the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Where's the Beyoncés of the world? Where's
Adele? Why can't we get them here? You know what? If they invested, even if it was $10 million, and turn around, and then you would have stars the following years wanting to come out to Australia to play in this one day in September, which is going to boost their profile worldwide and sales.
100%. And another one for the rumour mill. Tom Brady is apparently coming out to Australia, and he's going to be a part of the AFL corporate program that they have. It's called AFL Connect.
Is that right?
Yeah, he is coming out.
That is breaking news.
Yeah, it's had the deals happening as we speak. Things are moving very quickly.
Been ratified? Has that been signed off?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, Tuesday's AFL ticket just became Tom Brady's ticket.
There you go. So, this is what we're saying as huge supporters of the AFL, born and bred in Melbourne, watched our whole lives, grown up around it. If you're a Melbourneian, that's what you grow up into, and played it as well. So the whole thing here is our commentary is on wanting to make this league a better league, internationally as well as nationally. We can't forget the international factor. You can make a league grow internationally by creating amazing national events, because that's the world we live in. For example, look at the Las Vegas Sphere, right? For all of you that don't know what the Sphere is, it's a building in Las Vegas that's been newly built by the MSG group, the same group that own Madison Square Garden. And it's literally like a round ball that they filled up, that's being built out of LED screens filled with screens. It cost them like $2 billion to build. Now what they do is every day or every week they'll put up, let's say, something for the NBA, something for the NFL, a different character. And every time they change it, the online world makes it go viral, goes ballistic, right? AFL Grand Final. Why wouldn't you call the Sphere and say, here, put up the AFL Grand Final, do something engaging, come up with a marketing plan. This is our special day. We represent this country. Australia's on the map today. The whole world needs to tune in. Why not? Right? Instead of being so fixated on doing, KISS, same thing, the kick before, the sprint in the middle of the game. Oh, what Purdue, huge. Who cares? Right? Same thing always. Nothing ever changes. So anyway, that's my 5 cents and what I think should be. The world should be on, especially America, should be on notice when the AFL Grand Final is on.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I just wish that Australia's sporting organisations look. So I'll rephrase it. I think the NRL has done a pretty good job. Peter V'landys and Andrew Abdo going to Las Vegas.
They get it.
It was really good. Why isn't the AFL doing something similar?
They get it, Tony. They get it. They get it.
Yeah,
they understand what's going on.
I wish the AFL executive and its commission members would think outside the box
and
become progressive in conjunction with its TV partners instead of watching the NFL and the NBA and then repeating what they do.
The AFL commission and their top corporates will only do something that benefits them and their partners and their circle of friends. Go around and see what's going on, and I promise you dig deep enough, it's one of their friends that's involved here and there and there. They're like a mafia, mate. It's the same story over and over again, literally.
Well, yes, they have been accused of being that in the past. Well, look, we stated last week on this very program, Ahmed, that the AFL is an extension of the federal government in this country.
Correct, for sure, 100%. What happened during COVID? What happened now with this yes vote? Anytime they want to get a message out, straight through their mouthpiece, literally.
Yep.
No questions asked. Don't worry about the rest. No questions asked, mate. Yep. Yes, straight through. But anyway, I think we shall keep going. Staying in the world of AFL, the All-Australian, it's become this event that, lackluster event. They give out the awards and see you later, right? Why? If you're acknowledging your 22 best players in the land, why wouldn't you make more of it? Why isn't it streamed digitally past these TV networks? Why isn't it expanded out to try and engage these young people who look up to these guys? Why aren't there different events at the All-Australian Awards that leading up to them engage people and have them feel like they're actually part of the event, not just this corporate event that is closed off and the same thing year after year, right? Again, it's just they're so stuck in their old corporate ways, like they're literally getting in their own way in regards to the growth of the sport. And that's why so many young kids are turning away from AFL, because that connection is dying out. It's literally not till you get older and you find the team and you sort of start going to games, because everyone's like, if you look at life in today's world, everyone's too busy. They have 1.2 million members. Yes, I'd love to know the average age of that member base.
Yep.
I'd love to know how many are actually coming up through families and how many are coming new outside families that are already in the sport. I reckon there's potential to add another million if they thought outside the box.
Well, across the 18 teams?
Yeah. But the problem is that we're so stuck in what we're doing that, like for example, right? If we look at the two Sydney teams, right? Sydney's got, I think, the biggest city in Australia.
Yep.
In terms of population. Now it's split. The Swans are in the middle, or like in the CBD precinct, and then you got the GWS in Homebush. Western Sydney literally can swing an election, right? Depending on who they're voting for and whatnot. There's hundreds of thousands of people that live in Western Sydney, if not more. How many members?
Thousands?
Yeah.
No, it's 1.8 million.
There you go. So there's millions of people that live in Western Sydney. How many people are members of GWS? What's their membership base?
Oh, but look, at a guesstimate, I think it's somewhere around, 30,000.
I think you're being generous. But anyway, so let's say 30,000, right? How much have they really invested into getting into the West, like the actual suburbs, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like there's so much market share there to be taken up. Yeah, rugby league is big, but it's not like the Canterbury Bulldogs have 100,000 members. So
Well, no. Well, it says here, this is according to Google, as of the 2nd of August 2023, GWS can also celebrate a new milestone number, having reached a record 32,700 members.
okay, so why aren't they in the stands?
That's a very good question. Look, the other thing is, which is by extension of this conversation, and we're digressing a little bit, but if Toby Green is captain of the All-Australian team, why hasn't GWS and the City of Sydney gone all out in promoting the fact that a Sydney-based player is captain of the All-Australian team? I don't think News Corp did the awards justice the other night. I mean, I think all the people I've spoken to thought they gave more credence and kudos to Marcus Bontempelli of the Bulldogs for winning the Coaches Award and being awarded the vice captaincy, rather than the boy from Glen Iris, Toby Green, who was crowned captain of the All-Australian team.
Well, because he's playing for a Victorian team, it gets a lot more headlines.
Oh, I understand that, but
yeah.
But why haven't we celebrated, or can't we celebrate, a kid from Glen Iris? And why hasn't Giants and the Sydney AFL promoted Toby Green to turn around and stick it up the Victorians? I mean, this country loves rivalry, and I think it's a wasted opportunity.
They should have him on every single billboard throughout the western suburbs. They should have him on every single train that's coming out of the western suburbs, those things, and all the way through social media being targeted in that region, just to show them.
Oh, I could not agree more.
Yeah, there needs to be a focused effort on growing, on really pushing these achievements, right? And it's not happening at the moment.
No, but then at the most inopportune times, News Corp and Fairfax and Fox and Seven, and to a lesser degree 9 and 10, will turn around and say, yes, we want to grow the game in the northern states. Obviously, not to the detriment of the NRL, but they want to grow the game in the northern states. And yet there is a perfect opportunity to do so, and it's gone wanting.
You can't put the growth of a game in the hands of the broadcasters. They have a conflict of interest. They also broadcast the other leagues. They're not going to go all in on you and your sport. It's got to come from within, right? That's what people. That's what.
To a degree, but why hasn't AFL New South Wales and the GWS Giants gone out of their way to put a digital billboard up, even if it was only for a week? So the awards were last Wednesday night. The game, they play St Kilda on Saturday at the MCG. So rather than take away from their first final, at least for 7 days, promote the hell out of Toby Green's achievement as All-Australian captain and shove it up the Victorians.
I would have him until Wednesday this week. Then I would have the upcoming final game for people to tune in. That's a good segue into that. But
of course,
yeah. But anyway, I mean, this is and this will never happen because it's a bunch of old corporates that sit there and do the same thing over and over again. So it is what it is. All right, let's keep going.
It's disappointing.
It is, absolutely. We'll keep going. Geelong was the only team for some reason that was publicised for their Mad Monday. What's the story there, mate?
Well, historically, Geelong have always been the leaders in Mad Monday celebrations. And I don't mean that in an alcoholic sense. I mean in terms of dressing up. They've always put on a good show for the media rather than hiding away or going to a pub and putting the blinds down. They turn around and make it an entertaining day. They allow the media in for an hour and a half to 2 hours, take all your photos, have a couple of quick chats, promote it, which has been fantastic. They did again last week on Mad Monday, and all the cameras went down to Geelong, down to Bill Brownless's pub. And what we found was it Geelong the only club to have a Mad Monday? What is going on? There were 10 other clubs, I think 5 of which, off the top of my head, were in Victoria, and yet nothing was broadcast. What is going on?
Well, clearly they've stolen the show.
Marketing by Geelong's players,
yeah,
and by extension the footy club. What are the other doing?
I don't think it's the players. I think it's the club themselves.
No, Dangerfield and a few of the others have been instrumental in promoting this.
Well, there you go, which is brilliant, because now this is another opportunity to pretty much become the showcase of this segment, which is every year.
And Ahmed, we are talking about it.
Exactly. So brilliant on their behalf. The rest have probably missed out, if you ask me.
Yep.
All right. We'll move into the world of soccer, which is known internationally as football. Spain boss is still in a bit of trouble for that World Cup kiss. The Spain FA,
Luis Rubiales.
Yeah, the Spain FA president has refused to stand down, which has caused FIFA, which has caused a threat from FIFA to sanction the Spanish league if he doesn't step down. He's had backlash from the females team, from the women's team that won the World Cup, who are threatening to boycott. He's had backlash from La Liga teams like Sevilla and a few others that are big time clubs. Again, threatening to strike if he doesn't step down.
Well,
his mum's gone. Yeah, that's that. It's the athletes in Sevilla, the players in Sevilla have come out and said they will strike if he doesn't step down, and they're in full support of the young lady at the center of this controversy.
Has his mother yet?
His mother's still apparently on some sort of hunger strike or having some sort of fit. I don't know what's going on, but
you're the soccer man. You're the soccer man. Tell us. You've got the inside mail.
Well, what's happened is that she's gone on a hunger strike for some reason in protest of all this controversy. But you see, I've seen a few clips online, right, where I can't remember the name of the young lady right now. That was the one that was kissed. She, after she was in the bus, she was laughing about it and making funny comments about it.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been that serious if she found it funny, right? Clearly, and what people are saying is the camera angle, if you look at it closely, it wasn't flush on her lips or whatever. I don't know.
It was?
Sorry?
I thought it was on the lips.
Well, that's what they're saying, is that camera angle they're coming out with all these excuses now and different scenarios, and you know the way these things pan out. But the part that I found
sorry, just to interrupt, it was Jennifer Hermoso.
Hermoso, that's the one. So the part that I found interesting is after on the bus, she was laughing about it. So, what's all the fuss about then? If she's...
Yeah, I totally agree. And I have found criticism on Australia's social media platforms and also mainstream media commentators who are jumping on board to back Jennifer Hermoso and the Spanish players and all these outraged by the KISS after the fact. If all these people had an issue with it, why didn't they call it out on the night or in the preceding 24 hours? Suddenly it's a media pylon and people think that it's cool to jump on and have an opinion. I find that really in poor taste. I mean, if you had such a problem with it, do something about it.
It's become fashionable to sort of jump on these causes and do the right thing, apparently. But I don't know if it was a flash kiss on the lips, which I find really odd for him to do that, unless he had some sort of history with this lady that we don't know about. because nobody just grabs someone and just pashes them in front of the whole world, literally. It just doesn't make sense.
And lifted her up. So
Yeah.
look, I can't speak for her or for the Spanish football boss, but it looked quite consensual on the evening. I don't know whether after the fact she then realised what had happened and then took umbrage to it, but it looked kosher, for whatever word, on the night.
It was like there was something pre-existing there. They were just too comfortable with one another. I don't know. It's just interesting. Interesting.
Amit, you are heavily involved in world sport, particularly the game of football. What should happen, if anything?
If he did do that, if he did Pasha, and it was not a consensual pash, he should 100% stand down, right? But my feeling is this. My feeling is that there's something previously there. I don't know why. Just the way the mannerism and the behavior, those two, that's just, there's too much comfort. You don't grab someone like that and full on push him unless there's something there previously.
Yeah,
I reckon there's more to this story that will come out eventually. It's just a matter of time.
What, do you have a possum in your roof?
No. Just 4 or 5 possums that are having a barbecue outside my window.
Oh, so don't tell me it's raining again in Melbourne, is it? And the trees are rustling against the windows?
Yes, mate, it's raining and it's miserable. It is what it is. But so that's my take on things. There's something there. And again, please, I know people will try and take a snippet and demonize me for it. I don't really care. But the whole thing is here, those actions are not normal actions. Why didn't he do it with any of the others? Like there's something there. We just don't know.
Well, if nothing,
to get deeper.
I agree. If nothing can be proven and there is a lack of evidence, maybe we just have to let bygones be bygones and move forward.
Yep, there you go. And another one I heard, apparently it's in their tradition or something, in Spanish culture. To kiss each other on the lips or something like that. I don't even know. But that's what I heard. So anyway, we'll keep going. The great Lionel Messi played at the BMO Stadium, which is the home of the LAFC. BMO is the Bank of Montreal Stadium.
Explain to the fans what LAFC is.
LAFC is a new team it's probably 4 or 5 years old now, if that. It was established by a few big names like Will Ferrell, Magic Johnson, and a few other big names that also invested in it.
And it's different to LA Galaxy.
Different, the opposition, the rivals. It's LA royalty pretty much invested in it. And they've built their own stadium. It's across the road from the Coliseum there in LA. I was there a few years back. They won the championship last year.
Is it an amazing stadium?
It is an amazing stadium. I think it cost them $1 billion to build. Yeah, it's amazing. It's open. It's nice. It's a beautiful soccer stadium. And they built it in no time. It was a really quick build. So anyway, you had the GOAT come to the land of the stars. And what do you think happens when one of the greatest 4 times comes to the land of the stars? Attracts a lot of attention. All the stars were out in force. Tickets started at $700. Some were as much as $19,000. Selena Gomez in the stands, Tiger in the stands.
LeBron
James, you name it. They were all there last night.
Real from Cypress Hill.
Yeah. So I'm not much of a star encyclopedia. I don't really know many stars. Like if they walk past, I've been to LA over 15 times, and I can guarantee you many have walked past me I don't even know who they are. But that place is filled with stars. Anyway, so he attracted a lot of attention. Messi killed it once again, set up a couple of goals. 3-1 what was the final score from my understanding. And it was a successful day. But hey, Messi takes over LA and Hollywood. What do you reckon?
I think it's fantastic. And I know Cristiano Ronaldo is probably considered the greatest soccer player in the world, but he has gone to play for Saudi Arabia, which is not considered a Western world country. So Messi now playing for Inter Miami, who is at the forefront of Western world media, has now become this unparalleled superstar of the world game. And it may not be the best competition in the world, but what he is doing for American sport is nigh on unbelievable. And I think it's bloody fantastic.
Well, in the League's Cup, since his entry into the States till now, he's sold over $296 million worth of tickets.
What, alone?
Yeah, pretty much.
What's he played? 5 matches?
He's played 5 matches, yeah. But don't forget, people buy other all his upcoming games sold out at ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah. Oh, look, you know what? Congratulations to David Beckham and the other owners of Inter Miami. They have done an incredible job, and to secure Messi against other teams to bring him to America is fantastic. Well done.
A great segue into our next topic. Apparently, our good friend Tony, Mr. Tony Sham, believes or has a big question mark around David Beckham and his shaved head. Why don't you tell us a bit more, Tony?
Well, Ahmed, I'm only out there as a bit of a soccer fan. You know, I'm not a diehard of the world game, but the fashion icon and style guru David Beckham has shaved his head. I think he was spotted in the Greek Isles the other day with wife Victoria and his kids Romeo, and the other 2 escape me, Brooklyn, and the third escapes me. But David Beckham, has he shaved his head because he's losing his hair, or is he creating a new style without actually telling us? What's going on, Bex?
Do you think he's still a trendsetter at 50-something?
Oh, without a doubt. Every time he goes to Wimbledon, he is immaculately dressed. He's always set the trend for the past 20 years on hairstyles, clothing, shoes, sportswear, women. He is an absolute dynamite guru and a good-looking clothes hanger. But shaving his head, is it deliberate, or is he trying to tell us that this is a new way of style by men to shave their head?
I don't know. Would you shave your head?
Not at the moment, no. I've thought about it, but I need to lose some weight, and I want to keep as much of this beautiful hair as I can for the moment.
All right. Well, hopefully your dilemma of understanding whether Beckham's shaved head is a new thing or not will be resolved soon for you, Mr. Shane.
Well, Ahmed, do you think he watches the Raw Sports? Do you think any of his management get on YouTube and go, what are these blokes from Australia talking about? And somebody in the comments section can turn around and give us an insight into what Bex's mind was going through when he decided to shave his good-looking noggin.
All right. Please leave us a comment just to help me make Tony out, because he's really suffering at the moment.
Well, Messi hasn't shaved his head, so what the hell is David Beckham doing?
Good question. Moving on, Snoop Dogg. Do you think he's got a bit of a case for defamation against a few US Open officials and players?
That's a very good question, Ahmed. I wondered whether...
Give us context.
Give us context. Is the US Open Tennis Championship is going on at the moment in Flushing Meadow, New York. And one of the tennis stars in a post-match press conference, I think it might have been Zverev, commented to a group of journalists that he could smell some marijuana in the stadium, and made mention, or at least alluded to the fact, and mentioned Snoop Dogg's name. Now, you don't have to be Stevie Wonder to understand that Snoop Dogg likes a bit of the old spliffo. But could there be room for a defamatory case by Snoop to the US Open officials?
I think you are digging here. This is an absolutely starving attempt at digging.
What maybe
and creating a saga.
No, but what if Snoop turns around and says, "You have defamed my character by inferring that marijuana is linked to my name"? Now, I'm sure Snoop would probably take it in his stride and put it all over his Instagram. But I just thought, I don't want to be a muckraker or to be seen to be creating something out of nothing. But sometimes people can take things the wrong way.
Only in America.
What? No, all over the world.
That he could get sued and make a ton of money out of, somebody saying that about him. That's not going to happen here. Are you seriously joking?
As you know, America is a very litigious country.
It is indeed. Okay. One of the biggest leagues in the world kicks off this Thursday night, US time, Friday midday to afternoon, Australian Eastern Standard Time. The NFL is back. It's like it never left. We have the Detroit Lions heading back to the reigning champions, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Is that Mahomes?
Mahomes. It is. Mahomes will. We'll see if they can do it again. They can go back to back.
Can they?
We'll find out. It's a big ask in the NFL. It's a very physical game. 17 weeks of non-stop hurt, lots of travel, in and out, winter. It's a tough game. Tough game.
Yeah, but they do have private jets, and yes, it does get cold.
They do have private jets, but you're still on the road a lot. So it's Australia. America is a very big country, and they play all around the country.
Yeah, but for what you could do, you fly.
The most you travel here is 4 hours to Perth. You can travel 6 hours there. If you have to go from state to state, it's 6 hours. Coast to coast. But the Chiefs are lucky because they're sort of in the middle. So the travel time out isn't too bad.
So if you were playing for, say, Green Bay up in the east of America,
Wisconsin,
would you then have to play, say, up in Seattle?
Yeah, you'll be playing in LA. Don't worry about Seattle, LA.
No, Seattle's further away than LA from Wisconsin.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is. Seattle is right up the top, just below Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then if you go down south, and then you hit California, and then
Vancouver's a different country, mate.
No, Seattle is under Vancouver, so Canada sits atop America.
Yeah.
So you're going from east to west if you're looking at the map of America.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's about I don't know, maybe a 7-hour flight.
Yeah. There you go. So that has to happen, and it's very taxing. But again, the way they structure the league is very different to here. They have their Thursday night game. They have like 14 games on the Sunday. The Sunday night's like a main event, and then Monday night is also like a main event. So it's very different to here. Sunday is known as the Sunday ticket because there's literally fans that just sit all day, have 3 or 4 screens just going off playing different games because betting is such a big part of sport in today's world. So, good to see the NFL come back. Lots of action, I'm sure, that we can look forward to. brings us.
Just before we move on, why don't you repeat for all of our fans which recently retired NFL star is headed down under?
Tom Brady. Tom Brady it's been rumored that Tom Brady is coming to Australia through the AFL corporate program, AFL Connect.
So does that mean that he'll be here for the grand final?
I think so.
Wow, that is massive news.
I think so. Yes. So, which is awesome, because he's one of the biggest stars in the world. Really, maybe not the world, but definitely in America.
And he's got a new girlfriend.
Does he?
Yep. Well, he's separated from.
Yeah, I know that. But
he's now linked to Shania Sheikh.
That's Chris. I think that's CR7's ex.
Potentially, yeah.
Interesting. All right. That pretty much brings us to an end. Quite the episode. As always, Mr. Sheehan, lots of nuggets coming out of your. And I'm going to end the episode like I do every single week. Can you leave us with some words of wisdom, mate?
Yes, I can this week on Raw Sports. Nick Kyrgios, we saw you on Instagram. You are returning from a knee complaint. Keep going, son. We want to see you back out there. I know it's not the US Open, but the next one on the calendar would be, I think the next major would be the Australian Open. Would that be right?
Yep, we're almost there, believe it or not.
I can't believe it. We're hitting the AFL finals in 2 sleeps. So, Kyrgios, get on your bike, son. Keep with those tattoos, and we'll see you soon.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you all next week, or actually this week, Friday, 10 a.m. on another episode of Raw Sport. Take care, everyone.